How are we doing there, boys and girls? Manthieus here, and welcome back to another video. So the work order system has been in our hands for a couple of days now at this point, and one of the things that Blizzard really wanted for us to test with the work order system is the user experience. I mean, they even went to put it in the blue post itself. When they started talking about the crafting order system, one of the things they specifically said is, we are looking forward to your thoughts and feedback, particularly on how understandable and how convenient you find the experience. Happy ordering and happy crafting. Now, I've been quite public about the fact that I don't particularly think the work order system is that great. I've from day one had the belief and the understanding, and at this moment in time, until we had it to play with, at least that understanding was all pie in the sky. It was all theory. But now that we actually have it in practice and we can see what Blizzard actually wants the system to be, and we've had a little bit of time to test it, unfortunately, it does appear that some of my initial thoughts are true. It is not a very convenient system to use. It is not very user-friendly, and in fact, in many cases, I tend to believe it is in the exact opposite of user-friendly. It's significantly difficult to deal with, and I thought the only way I could really showcase to you guys what I mean when I talk about this is to show you firsthand. So there's a little hypothetical situation we're going to put together in this video. We're going to explore the work order system, pretending we know nothing. We, and myself included, as well as you guys, probably are keeping up with what's going on with Dragonflight. And the reality is because you keep up with the the updates and the news, and you're looking in the beta, and maybe you're one of these people running around doing some testing, there's the probability that you're going to go into this with a good amount of knowledge already. But that's not the case for most people. Most people are going to step into Dragonflight as a brand new expansion. They're probably not going to have, been keeping up with the news so much. They're going to go into this with zero knowledge. I spent many years in the past selling electrical products, technologically, TVs, laptops, all of this sort of stuff. And one thing that I learned very quickly in trying to sell that sort of equipment was that most people don't know the ins and outs. They don't know the full details about things. And unless you can portray the information to them in an understandable way, you ain't going to sell anything. Now, of course, in this scenario, I'm not trying to sell anything. That was just a scenario, an example. But let's have a little run through this. I jotted down some notes and I sort of created this hypothetical situation. And I'm hoping it will showcase some of what I feel are fundamental flaws in the way the crafting order the system actually functions. So, I'm a hunter. I've just dinged level 70. I decide that, well, the bow I've got on my character is dog doo-doo, right? Terrible bow. 327, terrible bow. I know there's better out there. I'm very aware that there's better bows that can be had. Under normal circumstances, I check the auction house, but there's not a lot there. Let's have a look at this crafting order system then. You first open the crafting order system, and it looks a lot like the auction house. I'm familiar with the auction house. We've had the auction house in the game for years. This is a good start. This is a good start. We can search through weapons, and I'm a hunter, so I'm going to use a ranged weapon primarily. Let's just click search and see what's available to us. 4 options are presented to us. Now, the first thing that jumps out to me is that these item levels seem remarkably low. I've heard that you can have mythic quality crafted gear. This doesn't look very mythic quality crafted gear to me. This looks pretty low item level. I'm already not super interested. For Blizzard on this one, maybe showcasing the ranges of the item levels that item can be crafted at. For example, 382 all the way up to, I think it's 418 for the best quality mythic one. Putting in those item level ranges would definitely help with the user experience when navigating this. But either way, we power on. We decide that, right, there's a cool little gun that we want to have a look at. So let's open it up. Let's see what we find next. The first thing we notice, the first thing we stumble across, is that there's a couple of materials here that apparently we must provide these. Okay, not a problem. We must provide them. At this moment in time, there is two possibilities here. We either have the materials, and if we have the materials, then, you know, it's a bit of a neutral feeling. We don't particularly care. We just, okay, we have them. Here you go. What's the user experience, though, if you don't have these materials? Well, if you don't have them, the only thing you've got is the tooltip. Well, created by the engine of innovation in Valdrakken, this is a unique crafting material and can help you make, it can help an item achieve expertise beyond that of mortal ability. Okay. Well, what do I do then? How do I actually go and get one of these? It's still not very intuitive to try and showcase, well, what do you actually need to do? And apparently I absolutely must provide it. All right, fine. Luckily for this scenario, we have a couple of these. Not a problem. What we then see is that there's other materials listed. Now, I'm not a crafter. This is the reason I'm using a system like this. I want the crafter to make this. Why am I dealing with all of the materials? I'll give it, you know, I'll give it its due time, though. It's a new system. Maybe it's just because I don't know a lot about it yet. There's lots of other materials here. Some of them are even epic. They look expensive. It's at this point you have one of two options again. You either have the option of, well, they don't need to be supplied, maybe I'll just ignore them, or you have the option of trying to find out how much these cost, trying to maybe even get some of these materials to supply them with the order. But that's a lot like hard work. That's an awful lot of hard work. I just want to, you know, I want to try and get access to this. I don't want to be doing that. If I wanted to do all of that, I'd have been a crafter in the first place. But this was meant to be the easy route to get a piece of crafted gear at high item level, right? That's what I've been told. We choose to ignore them. We move on and we take a little bit of a look at the commission side of things. What commission am I meant to offer? I'm not a crafter. I don't know how much all of this is. Luckily, I've got some of these big materials, though, so hopefully I don't have to offer too much of a commission, right? But how much of a commission do I need to offer? I don't want to overpay, and I certainly don't want to underpay, because then my order might not be filled. Well, okay, luckily I can view some similar orders here. Oh, well, there is some similar orders, but the commissions on these are ludicrously expensive, and they're not offering any reagents. Little do I know that it will still say none here, even if you provide the mandatory reagents. Once again, not very user-friendly, Blizzard. Alright then, ignore this. Let's just put in a big whopping 5,000 gold commission. Surely 5,000 gold is going to be more than enough for somebody to make this item for us. Regular bits of gear aren't meant to cost that much, right? Sure, great, excellent, no problem. Let's look at the duration. I want my item now. Why am I choosing to wait 12 hours, 24 hours, or 48 hours? I don't want to wait. I want it now. Why can't I have this piece of... Why can't I, make an order and... Why can't a crafter just make it for me now? Well, I'll choose 12 hours for one very simple reason. It apparently costs me more to post it for longer. Well, you know what? I'm going to post it for 12 hours then. Boom. Order placed. We're good, right? How long do I need to wait? I don't know. I don't know how long I need to wait. All I know is that it expires in 12 hours. Does that mean at any point in the next 12 hours somebody can come along and make this item? But I wanted it now. You don't know how long you got to wait. This is one of the problems. Let's just say, hypothetically, 12 hours pass. Your order was not fulfilled. Do you know why? You don't know why. You get given no information at all other than it's going to expire. Did it expire because I didn't offer enough commission? Did it expire because there was nobody out there to craft it? Was it because I put it for 12 hours and everybody was in bed that no crafter even saw it? I don't know. Doesn't leave me feeling very, excited about the system when I don't know so much about it. I think, fine, forget it, no problem. I try again, right? I think this time I'll try again. So we go back to the crafting orders, we go back to the same weapon again, we find it in the list. This time we're like, right, you know what? I think it's probably better if I try and work out a little bit about these materials. I do kind of feel as if I'm doing the crafter's job here, but let's take a little bit of a look at these materials and let's find out what they cost and if they're available. Okay, well I don't have any of these, so maybe I'll check the auction house. That's the obvious thing to do, right? I'll check the auction house, see if any of the materials are available. Where's the auction house? Oh, there's not an auction house here. Alright then, I'll tell you what, since there's not an auction house here, and there seems to be no long boy for some reason, I'll trundle my way up here and I'll go to the auction house. This is not a problem. Fine. I've worked out where the auction house is. It's okay. Don't worry about this. So, you get to the auction house. Oh, what were the materials I needed? Can anybody remember what the materials were I needed? Oh, I don't know what the materials were I needed. You know what? Maybe I'll just search for it. Maybe I'll search for it through here because hopefully I'll be able to find it through here, right? Maybe if I search for it through here, I can see the recipe and it will show me what I need. They're all bind on pickup, so I can't see them here. All right, fine. Well, I guess I'm going back to the work orders, right? You trundle your way back to the work orders. You open it back up again. In 2022, you write down on a piece of paper the materials that you may potentially need, and you trek your ass back to the auction house, right? You repeat the process again. I know I'm exaggerating a lot here, but it's to make a point, right? You come back to the auction house and you start searching up some of the materials. You very quickly find out that those materials are really quite expensive. No wonder your initial 5,000 gold tip didn't get filled. It's, the picture starts to become clear. Okay, I'm going to need to offer significantly more to get this item crafted. So, let's just say hypothetically then, you're like, okay, let's buy some of these materials. You go to buy some of these materials, and then you very quickly realize that, well, hang on. Let me see if I can find a good example of this. Hang on, there's like 3 different qualities of these materials. Why is the 3 different qualities of these materials? If I'm looking at the trade goods and I'm looking at the materials, why is the 3 different qualities of them? Why is there a 1, a 2, and a 3? What's going on here? Well, I tell you what, I'll buy the cheap ones. I'll buy the cheap ones for now. Why? Because they're cheap. If I provide them in the order, surely that's good enough, right? Alright, I bought some cheap materials. We head ourselves back over to the crafting order system. We're going to give this another go. For reference, a little bit of a recap here. We've now tried to buy this item a couple of times. It's been a significant amount of time trying to get your hands on one of these items, and you're starting to get a little bit frustrated with the system, right? You're less than impressed at just how frustrating this system is proving to be to actually work with, just to get a single piece of gear, right? So we go back to the NPC, we find our weapon again for what feels like the 10th time. We supply all of the materials here, and we're like, right, you know what? I really, really, really want this order to be crafted this time. I'm going to put a little bit of a tip in here of like an extra 1,000 gold just to guarantee that it gets done. Boom, we place our order. We've provided all of the materials. We've given somebody a tip as well. And once again, we're waiting, right? Once again, we're in the waiting game. We sit back and we relax. Now this time, because we've provided pretty much everything, we're going to get our order filled. Now we come across the next stumbling point for many people. The order gets filled and it turns up in your mailbox. When the order gets filled for you, you'll get a little mail notification and you can go and pick it up. You pick up one of them. Let's assume that it was in my mailbox here. You could pick it up. You get the item, and all of a sudden, you're a happy camper, right? You've got your brand new shiny item. Let's just say, hypothetically, another hunter runs past you, and you're like, hey, I've just got this cool new bow. Let me check his gear out. Let me see what he's got. You look at his gear, and he's got the same gun as you. He's got the brand new shiny, Pew Pew Gun 2000. He's got the same gun as you. But his is in higher height. His is a higher item level. What's going on here? Why is his item level significantly higher? Maybe it was the materials. And you're like, this still sucks, right? You go back to the crafting order system because one of your friends or one of your guild members told that you can then get your item recrafted. So you're like, all right, fine. I'm going to get mine recrafted. I'm going to get mine recrafted at a higher item level. You select your item in question, to then only be presented with the fact that you need to do basically the entire system again. You need to provide yet more materials on top of all of the materials that you weren't best impressed about having to buy in the first place. You're also then going to have to try and find somebody to do the recraft for you. None of this, and, should I add before we go too far, and recrafting may result in the quality of your item going down. You know what the best way, Blizzard, is to make it so that nobody ever integrates with the new system? When you tell people that the item level of there's the chance for the item level of the gear to go down. Guess what's going to happen when people see this? And if that scenario is even remotely close to what happens when the game goes live, people aren't going to engage with this. Within minutes, the argument is going to be, well, why can't crafters make these and put them on the auction house? When I go to the auction house, the interface is very similar. The process starts off the same way. Let's not forget that the beginning of this journey started so well. It looked like the auction house. I felt comfortable. It made a lot of sense to me. I was able to search for something, just generally browse for something. But what I would really want under most circumstances is to have the process made simplistic. How is it made simplistic? It's made simplistic by listing the item, letting the crafter craft it, and having a gold value against it. This entire process of trial and error and buying materials and getting the wrong quality can all 100% be fixed if you just make the items listable on the auction house and then people can buy them with gold. It's a quantity of friction that I feel is far, far, far over the top for what is actually necessary. I'm going to finish this video because I appreciate this video has quite a negative undertone to it, and I apologize for that. But I'm going to finish this video just simply by saying that a system of this nature is not necessary. It's adding so much more complexity that is not needed. A system like this is going to be forcefully pushed on us to use by the fact that nearly every endgame piece of kit is bind on pickup and can't even go anywhere near the regular auction house. I would also like to remind everybody that this video has not talked about the crafting side in any way, shape or form. This is not the greedy goblin in me wanting to make more gold. This is strictly from the perspective of somebody that's new to the game, that's got no other choice but to utilize this system. The user experience is pretty poor. But let me know your comments on this in the comment section down below. Understandably, it's a slightly more negative video, but please give the video a like if you did enjoy it. I'd be, really keen to hear what you have to think about this. But I'll leave it there for today, boys and girls. Hopefully Blizzard can do something to rectify this situation, because as it stands right now, unfortunately, I'm less than impressed. But have a good day, boys and girls. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.